Unfortunately, DeepSeas is often introduced to organizations that are already under attack or immediately after they've gone through a serious breach or incident. And while those organizations are willing to work hard to transform, the truth is they often had most of what they needed to prevent the incident in the first place. They just didn't start the transformation process. I'm here to tell you that everyone who gets a call at 3 a.m. about a breach has religion instantly on transforming their cybersecurity program. I don't want that to be you. The better and less costly way is to start to transform before your organization is a statistic with real lasting reputational damage. So, how does transformational framework and methodology get kicked off? It starts with DeepSeas working with your team to answer some simple questions. What is the status of our cyber program today? What should our goals be? Because not all organizations' goals are the same. Why and how should we continuously transform our cyber program? Our transformation framework at DeepSeas will guide you through these questions, and it sets you up for the next actions with an effective methodology that prioritizes the most relevant and impactful actions. Through that process, we'll help you document the number of endpoints, mobile devices, client devices, partner devices, access points that your company actually has today, vulnerabilities your organization has, organizational knowledge and environment visibility to these access points, and what is happening to them right now. And finally, a process that you will use to continuously learn, improve, and reduce your attack surface. As straightforward as these actions sound, over 80% of organizations, both large and small, do not have these processes documented and implemented and working. And we don't stop there. We will help you build a transformational cybersecurity program using 3 action phases which correspond to the areas I covered. Okay, let me give you a brief overview of the DeepSeas phases of transformation. Phase 1 action, gain visibility. Phase 2 action, integrate and operate process and governance. And then finally, phase 3 action, optimize your program. Now, let's go a little deeper into each of these phases. Phase 1, gain visibility. In our visibility phase, we get a deeper understanding of what we call the denominator and really quantify the cybersecurity impact. Then we can prioritize because an honest, in-depth understanding of where we are today is the best first step. Some of the issues we'll confront in phase 1 include: how many endpoints are there? Where do you find them? While few organizations can get to 100% knowledge, the process helps get you close. Once you quantify the endpoints and manage them actively, you are in a much better place already. Do you have a SIM today? What are your log sources going into the SIM? What is your documentation process? What is your change control process? Now, there's more to it than that, but I think you get the idea. After phase 1, we'll spend a lot of time building our knowledge and understanding of the state of your program. So, let's get to phase 2. Integrate, operate, processes, and governance. Phase 2 is where many organizations have situational or ad hoc approach. A lot of organizations, although they have monitoring, they come to us with a response that is a loose federation of organizations that are coming together, executing an ad hoc process. But with DeepSeas, you'll realize the benefits of a systematic, repeatable, and reliable program. In phase 2 of the transformation, how do you run your threat detection and response today? What are the most likely attack vectors, techniques, procedures, and tools? How do you respond to an incident? What is your current playbook? Do you have a current playbook? Is it documented? Is it consistent? Is your team fully aware of where that response protocol is and how it's maintained and updated? And how do you manage the workflows and how do you prioritize them? Do you have service providers that need to be part of the response? For instance, do you have a network service provider that needs to be part of the response? How do you source, harvest, tune, and deploy detections into your environment? Once we have a good understanding of these answers, the next questions are key. Are you updating? What is the frequency of updates? How do we infuse insight and past knowledge into the program to make that security tighter based on prior cases and learning? Once we have documented understanding during phase 1 and phase 2, we're now ready to move to phase 3, which is optimization. Okay, now we're at phase 3, optimize your program. Phase 3 is where your organization will ultimately feel the benefits and impact of some of the substantial efforts in the earlier 2 phases. Let me pause here for a second, as there is sometimes confusion in phase 3. Some leaders think taking steps towards optimization automatically leads to team reductions in personnel. But that is really not the intent or a foregone conclusion. By using the DeepSeas framework and solid detection technologies, it should enhance, it should focus your current team rather than reducing headcount. Phase 3 builds consistency and efficiency in a continual improvement framework, which we've seen build cost savings and business benefits, like reducing risk, achieving resiliency, and protecting reputation. The issues and questions we confront in phase 3 include: do we capture reporting and share improvements with stakeholders and board of directors with quantifiable and relevant metrics? Is automation and detection helping the team hone in on the real signal in the noise? Do we have KPIs captured around business risk, risk of business disruption, risk to data and operations, the impact to insurance, etc.? And then finally, is security team retention solid or shifting? Is your team continually learning new skills, capabilities by serving side by side with world-class cyber professionals in your mission? So there you have it, our 3 phases of transformation. And oh, by the way, these phases, they're cyclical in nature. I have a client where 4 years into it, we are still improving our visibility, integrating and operating, and our optimization. Secondly, this framework we use with clients across all their attack surfaces, not only IT, but mobility, cloud, manufacturing, where each of those phases across those attack surfaces may be at different stages of maturity. And then finally, most important, as we know in the universe, simple doesn't always mean not sophisticated. We've used this framework at some of the most sophisticated cyber programs in the world to the very simple. Today, we've covered DeepSeas' 3-phase framework for cyber program transformation, and we're here to help you make it work for you and your organization. I'm Wade Alt, Chief Operating Officer of DeepSeas, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, dive deeper at deepseas.com.